Vincent, Nyamiaka, Yara, Obetumiaye, Nana, Sonia, me to me, Tisara. Nana, Sonia, me to me, Tisaro. Yota Fubaka, Biara, me found, Vincent, Nyamiaka, Yara, Obetumiaye, Nana, Sonia, me to me, Tisara.
All right, dear friends, good morning and welcome to the show. It is Monday, Tuesday. You know so. Well, you ready? Say you be share. Said you ene ebitimi. You dey ready? I say you call you na so ready. Edi efufi na obonsam one fire anye hanam amanese. Nemum yetimi asori. So we are just grateful. Say erade amay ahwode na na ebetimi ede afa enenimuno. All right, let's go to the passage of scripture and encourage ourselves in the words of the Lord. Just in the interlude is music by
Anyame wako nipa ne molebi ne keje gbalo iza wulole icho neji ekpa keje kuku neji eten gan kanyo ake manebo eke o mene ake kron kron ji Yehowa taya chele shikpon mule fe eyi obonke onunyamle. Amen. And then the English reads as follows. Isaiah chapter 6 verse 3. And they were calling unto another, Holy, 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 Lord is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. The word of God.
Thanks be to God. Today we join in the angelic host and to sing of his holiness and of his praise. And yene abofo pim I was soro ekabum edi adianse se woye nyame a wo kron ne no odifo Isaiah atwere ye kinkan bia mamo Isaiah chapter 6 verse 3. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. Because some we say yema erade so na yeka erade kese yo a ne tumi ne nu onyam ebunkamfa asase so any wiase afa na nyina. And so that is the trick this morning. This morning, spend 5 minutes out of your time and sing of the glory of God. Die tiebia, die sibia, jai to baby, ne ka erade keseyo, ne to erade ne keseyo, ne hweso nyankopon ne nu onyam embunkam emfa asase no so ana. Now this morning we want to agree with the tema Gamek and to sing of the holiness of the Lord. Praise to the holiest in the height. MHB 74 is our hymn for reflection. dear friends, although we set hymns to all manner of tunes from different centuries, there is often a great deal to be said for matching the period of the tune that has just been sung. Praise to the Holiest comes from John Henry Newman's dramatic poem towards the end of the century as a great symphonic Ontario. The story of 𝗟𝗏𝗘 dying, being carried by the guardian angel into the presence of God for judgment. And as they approached the inner sanctuary, angels sang the hymn. It was first taken for a congregational use in the year 1868, as has been appended in the ancient hymn and modern. John 𝗛𝗏𝗘, one of the great tune writers of the most fruitful age, composed it for the book. The widespread lips in the first two lines clearly expressing the idea of the first and second stanza. And so we sing together, praise to the holiest in the height and in the depth to be praised in all his words, most wonderful, most sure. Anyways, MHB 74. Christ into you. Christ into you. Christ into you. And I will serve
the church.
Brothers and sisters in the Lord, the world. All right, thank you so much, dear friends. Thank you to the Tema Diocesan Choir, as well as all Methodists who sang through this hymn with us. This is what makes us Methodists. Dear friends, welcome on board. It's a brand new morning, and we are beaming live from the Grand House at Dabaraka. The itinerary is ready.
All right, and so we do want to bring you all the updates that you're looking for on the news front. We would also add a health tidbit. We would also add some insurance minutes to it. But we'll come back later and bring you we'll bring you 𝗟𝗏𝗘, where it is a favorite part of your show, where you would also be given the opportunity to step in with your calls. Remember, always do what to lower the volume of your TV set when you're ready to make a call or place a call to us. And please, when you call, do what to comment on all the issues we'll be discussing here this morning. Well, we are still celebrating the woman, and so it's still the International Women's Day celebration. And so this morning we are focusing on the role of women in Ghana Methodism. And so we are asking, what has been the role of women in Ghana Methodism? This question sits in 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗃. But if you also know an answer or you have a contribution to make, do well to send it to any of our social media platforms. Or you can send it to our WhatsApp line, and we'll be here to read out the comment. But brain game is on. The Adinkra symbol will be shown to you, and then if you know the correct answer, share it also with us on all social media platforms. We've indicated that the gift or the prize that is on these answers have been increased, and so please do well to send it to us in the next 3 seconds. If you're able to send the answer to us, you stand a chance of winning something from Osofo. And so we're asking, what is the name of this Adinkra symbol? Well, you cannot say it in English, it's only in Akan. And so do well to share the correct answer with us on all social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, thank you very much. Ene yebidi ema nkomo. Ema nkomo didie. And so today we welcome the very Reverend Comfort Ruth Papa Few Mama Bakope, indeed the Director for Gender, Family and Social Intervention of the Methodist Church Ghana. Yene Mama Eba be sipunu yebesi nkonya na yedi ema ho nkomo, who were the prominent women that has assisted our church all the while. Na mawum ene yebeti mani din na yebehwe modembo ene emwa ye maamenum ede aboa Methodist asafo na babesi emeria yewumi. So weni ensa wo ka kire ene join us as we sit behind the table to do this rather stimulating discussion. Well, we want to thank our sponsors so much, Dunwall Insurance MIPO, Methodist University, multi-credit, but Brella Clothing, Oma Emma entire na weja, emema. Banyami adumunti, Willie aso you den and or the grooming kakraka. To so far, Jika who's a mashami who's a Goliath, Mijina, Nina, a rehearsed, well rehearsed dressing. As I say, so for shese, so for yes, to combination, Nina tutorials. Thank you so thank you so much. Abanda Sadia na Yakota Mania Numusu Kakra Wesleyan Dew. Thank you. The new kid on the block. Why cry never to new kid on the block? Am I obedient to me my but Ubiba. The Oka saw about the dad
say inside the room for no more motive on no more ready, but don't worry, by the close of the week need there's
processing room and answer one.
What down for
engine room.
There be
okay.
What down for back on.
Okay,
so
mate. All right, yeah, that's it. Okay, Nemom and Yaber na Yasha de bit media bram san say a binomo pie akukrum and ranajo and renum ramo makakope news be about until we have hot some will be a breaking news for you because you are going to hear it for the first time. It is time for the Wesleyan News Update and Miss Na has the microphone. Good morning.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have brought results.
Hooray! Methodist University College Ghana, Yenya Presidential Charter, it's your Frey, Methodist University Ghana, Etienne, Upe Baby Pa, Aboa Budini, and Yanguma Siamunim Dear Padia, admission no air course, postgraduate, undergraduate, diploma, and a certificate programs be to say, nursing, educational assessment and evaluation, guidance and counseling, psychology, economics, HRM and management studies, marketing and supply chain management, communications, IT, accounting, social work, port and shipping management, and a PhD in education. Dear, order for furniture, Methodist University Ghana. Nanika Summer woman say, what's the candidate today? Or 30% discount. And 30% discount. And the Methodist, a sorry menina. Shushayan campuses nibi, our dance suman, Sama, Wenchi, National Song, say our day, any evening, import weekend sessions, Cramponso, our mature entrance exams, and so air coso. 83 Mikasi na admission air coso. And Shabubiano for 0558 309059. And now acquire website www.mug.edu.gh. MUG, the rich brand, Meth UG. We have the zeal to educate.
KFK Foods is an award-winning world-class restaurant with over 10 years experience in both local and continental dishes. We render services for parties, cafeteria services for schools and hospitals, individuals, corporates and institutions, as well as groups who want to treat their partners to delicious meals and services. We have all local and international dishes including banku with tilapia, fufu with light soup, fried rice with grilled or fried chicken, assorted fried rice, fish with chips, noodles and spaghetti, pizzas, pastries, shawarma, beef and chicken sauces. All kinds of breakfast baskets in Accra. Locate us at the Ambassadorial Enclave on the first floor of the Wesley Towers at 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. In Tema, locate us at Community 25 Annex, where the event center is located at 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Monday to Sunday. For all orders, call us on 0244 637647 or WhatsApp us on 050 33171153. KFK Foods, you deserve it. Do you need quality and professional ministerial attire? Be it cassock, clerical shirts, stoles, preaching gowns, preaching bands, wedding gowns, and sanctuary vestments, then your best destination is the Methodist Investments and Properties Limited, MIPL. Individuals and churches can also contact MIPL for their African wear, both male and female, curtains, church or institutional anniversary clothing, Friday wears, mufflers, diaries, liturgy books, souvenirs, badges, Lacoste and t-shirts, among others. MIPL produces natural fruit juice such as ginger, pineapple, mango, millet, banana, as well as specially prepared ginger powder to boost your daily vitality. MIPL Property Management is also available to both individuals and corporate institutions in managing your property and providing investment solutions. Locate MIPL office at the Grant House inside Adzika, Accra for your businesses at affordable prices, or call us on 0242 122 787. If you are looking for an office space which is spacious with a car park, 24-hour security, standby generator, then look no further. The Grant House building is up for rent and is located adjacent the Holy Spirit Cathedral, Accra. Call us on 0242 122 787. Welcome to the Wesleyan News Update right here on Wesleyan Television. My name is Anita and Afarley, but we are coming to you live from our studios at the Grant House at Adzika, Accra. Coming up in this bulletin, Finance Minister to present the 2025 budget today. Meanwhile, opposition MP 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗃 is urging government to be truthful in the budget presentation. Also coming up, President Mahama asked IMF and the World Bank to focus on their mandate and avoid getting into cultural matters. Speaker Bagbin bemoans low number of women in Mahama's cabinet. Let's settle for the details. Finance Minister Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗘 will today present the 2025 budget statement and economic policy to Parliament, marking the first comprehensive financial roadmap of the Mahama administration since assuming office. The highly anticipated budget is expected to outline bold policy measures aimed at stabilizing the economy, fostering growth, and addressing the nation's fiscal challenges. With the country still grappling with high debt levels, inflation, and unemployment, all eyes are on Dr. 𝗟𝗡 to unveil strategies that will provide relief to businesses and households while setting the country on a path to recovery. A key highlight of the budget is the anticipated removal of several controversial taxes, including the electronic transfer levy, e-levy, the COVID-19 health levy, and the betting tax. These levies, introduced by the previous administration, were widely criticized for increasing the financial burden on citizens. The Mahama-led government, which campaigned on the promise to reduce the tax burden, sees this move as a crucial step towards easing economic hardships and stimulating business growth. The elimination of these taxes is expected to benefit mobile money users, businesses and individuals engaged in online betting, while also boosting overall economic activities. However, the government will need to outline alternative revenue sources to compensate for the loss of these levies. Beyond tax policy, the budget is also expected to focus on job creation, infrastructure development, and social interventions aimed at improving the livelihoods of Ghanaians. Given the country's economic challenges, the budget will serve as a critical test of the administration's ability to balance fiscal discipline with pro-growth policies. The Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, 𝗟𝗏𝗘, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to fulfilling its 120-day social contract in the upcoming 2025 budget, set to be presented on March 11, 2025. The social contract outlines 26 key pledges aimed at revitalizing the economy and easing the financial burden on Ghanaians. Among the major commitments are the removal of the e-levy, the COVID-19 levy, and the 10% tax on birth winnings, as well as the emissions levy, all within the administration's first 90 days in office. Speaking to journalists in Accra on Friday, March 7, Quarcoo also disclosed plans to review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported for industrial and agricultural purposes. He also highlighted the government's intention to introduce key economic initiatives, including the launch of the 24-hour economic policy and the implementation of a non-academic fee policy for first-year students in public tertiary institutions. Additionally, the government plans to establish a women's development bank and roll out major job creation programs as part of its first budget. He also expressed concerns about Ghana's currency depreciation, assuring that long-term and medium-term measures will be introduced to stabilize the economy. The 2025 budget is expected to outline comprehensive policies to drive economic stability and growth while delivering on key campaign promises. The Member of Parliament for 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗘, 𝗟𝗏𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗘, has emphasized the importance of truthfulness during the presentation of the country's economic record. He stated that the Finance Minister, Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘, must be transparent when reporting on the nation's economic situation. His remarks comes ahead of the much-anticipated budget presentation by the Finance Minister scheduled for today, March 11, 2025. According to him, the economic record of Ghana is not something that can be manipulated for political gain. Referencing the Ghana Statistical Service, 𝗟𝗏𝗙𝗏 explained that key institutions like the Bank of Ghana regularly publish updates on the country's economic performance. He further cautioned the Finance Minister to avoid political pressures to manipulate the economic figures and present an overly optimistic or distorted view of the economy. He also highlighted the political risk of doing so, noting that it could scare investors away and damage the country's credibility. President John Dramani Mahama has warned multilateral institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to avoid interfering in Ghana's domestic policies, particularly concerning cultural and social issues such as the LGBTQ+ rights. Speaking in an interview with Bloomberg's Next Africa, Mahama argued that multilateral institutions should focus on their economic mandates rather than attempting to influence cultural values in Ghana. His comment comes amid speculations that organizations like the World Bank and the IMF might withdraw funding if Ghana passes the controversial anti-LGBTQ+ legislation that is being considered for review in Parliament. When directly asked about potential financial consequences should the bill become law, Mahama remained defiant. If they decide to pull funding, well, it's their prerogative, but I don't believe that multilateral institutions like the World Bank and IMF should include in their mandates how people behave culturally. The previous version of the anti-LGBTQ+ bill expired after facing legal challenges and failing to receive presidential assent. Mahama clarified that although the legal challenge was eventually dismissed, the bill elapsed because it wasn't signed into law. Regarding any new version of the bill, Mahama advocated for broader stakeholder consultation. He said, what we need is more stakeholder consultation to look at whatever new bill would come and make sure that we carry everybody on board, he explained. The president emphasized that preserving family values should focus more on education than legislation alone. President Mahama says he has gained new perspectives on the concerns raised by the three countries regarding their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He promised to relay these concerns to fellow leaders during the upcoming ECOWAS summit. In a media briefing following a closed-door meeting with Burkina Faso military ruler, he emphasized that the core issue behind the withdrawal of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger from ECOWAS is a breakdown in trust. According to him, although it will take time, there is a need to work to regain trust. Beyond political concerns, President Mahama underscored the need for a collective approach to tackling terrorism, warning that the crisis, which began in Mali, has spread to neighboring countries and could further destabilize the region if left unchecked. The two leaders also explored ways to improve transit trade between Ghana and Burkina Faso, boost agricultural exchanges, and establish a direct Accra-Ouagadougou flight. Additionally, President Mahama noted that they discussed increasing electricity export to Burkina Faso and extending Ghana's fuel pipeline for Bogatanga to Burkina Faso to facilitate petroleum product supply. The Speaker of Parliament, 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗘, has voiced his disappointment over the lack of gender balance in President John Dramani Mahame's cabinet, stating that the appointments fall below the 30% benchmark for women, which is unacceptable. Speaking at an International Women's Day event in Parliament, Bagbin highlighted that only 2 out of 19 cabinet ministers are women, far below the 30% requirement set by the Affirmative Action Gender Equality Act. Even the Gender Ministry is not a cabinet ministry, he lamented. Bagbin urged Parliament to lead by example in promoting gender equality, calling for a review of leadership positions within the House. Out of the 43 committees in Parliament, only 4 are chaired by women, and out of 19 ministers of state in cabinet, only 2 are women. So why did we spend all the resources and time to pass the law? We should sit up, he added. He stressed the need for concrete action to ensure the full implementation of the Affirmative Action Gender Equality Act, urging authorities to uphold their commitment to gender inclusivity in governance. A former Deputy Director of the National Service Authority, 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗘, has been granted bail following her detention by the National Intelligence Bureau over the allegations of payroll fraud during her tenure at the authority. Sources at the NIB confirmed that 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗘, who is also an executive council member of the Ghana Football Association, was discharged on Saturday after several hours of questioning. However, the specific terms of her bail remain unclear. 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗘's arrest follows a widespread reported investigation into the alleged embezzlement of funds at the NSA, specifically relating to fraudulent payroll activities that occurred while she was in office. The case has attracted considerable public attention, with many closely watching the developments surrounding the former NSA's official involvement in the scandal. The NIB is probing her work at the NSS over allegations that thousands of ghost names were used to defraud the state of millions of cedis in allowances. The government says it has uncovered a significant discrepancy in the national service payroll, revealing 81,885 suspected ghost names. This figure represents the difference between the actual number of active personnel and the payroll data submitted by the previous management of the National Service Authority. According to the latest findings, there are currently 98,145 active service personnel, a stark contrast to the 180,030 names presented for allowance payment in 2024. School Feeding Caterers Association has welcomed the government's decision to increase the feeding fee for basic school students from 1 cedi 50 pesos to 2 cedis, acknowledging it is a step in the right direction, though still insufficient. Finance Minister Dr. 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗘 Atuforsin, during a social media engagement on March 9, gathered feedback from the youth and media ahead of the 2025 budget presentation on March 11. He announced the government's plan to raise the school feeding grant, responding to long-standing concerns from caterers and education stakeholders. Speaking on Monday, March 10, the national president of the School Feeding Caterers Association, Nana Otu-Sechiamu, expressed appreciation for the increment while urging further improvement. The increment is set to take effect from the 3rd term beginning in April. That'll be all for the Wesleyan News Update. For more news, log on to any of our social media platforms. My name is Anita 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗏.
the new Wesley Towers. It is a state-of-the-art office space located in the Ambassadorial Enclave, Accra. The property comes with a main entrance foyer with a classic central chandelier lighting. Our 13-passenger elevator with an air diffuser and a display screen for all your outfits will surely take you to the auditorium. At the Wesley Towers is a 500-seater auditorium for all your events. It's fully soundproof with a centralized air conditioning system. Our line of speakers, MCR, LED screens, and LED stage lights are fully in place. After an eventful day in our auditorium, you are sure to feel refreshed in the spacious 200-seater capacity roof terrace with a pergola in place. With 100 available car parking space, this new edifice is safe and secured with our security systems in place. Over 100 camera points and car parking control system. We have washrooms, restaurant, and an on-site clinic. Book our conference rooms for your corporate meetings whilst admiring the water fountain synchronizing with colorful lighting and music. Wesley Towers is designed to make you feel safe, offering you the needed luxurious space. It comes with affordable pricing package. Please contact for details and inspection. 0503 109 978 or 0500 166 304 or 0556 302 880 0243 614 423. Wesley Towers, offering you a safe, secured, luxurious space.
Welcome back. This is from the papers and it's all about the headlines on the major front pages of the various newspapers across the country. We'll turn our attention to the screen and we'll take a look at the daily graphic. Food alert, most processed tomato impure, nutritionist reveals, and that story begins on the front page, continues on page 3. Professor Bokpin, IEA supports abolition of taxes but argue betting tax be maintained. Well, English Yalata, Paramount Chief inducted into House of Chiefs. The story is on page 29. 10-acre sites retrieved from Galamseyas in Ashanti region. That's a good one. But the story is also on page 13. Grab a copy and get to read in details. To our next paper, the Daily Guide. 2025 budget, e-levy COVID-19 tax to go. And we have a picture of Dr. Kasala Toforsen. 4 killed in gory crash. That's a sad one. And JB Dankwa killer bill hearing moved to March 25. NIB releases gift to Owari Mensa. The story is on page 3. Now, China Fujian Fission calls for enhanced security. The story is also on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Get a copy for yourself. The Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative one. Public expectations from the 2025 budget: reduce taxes, costs of living, create employment. Public urges government. The story is on page 12. Page 13 says that government operation cracks down on illegal miners, confiscates 9 excavators, bulldozer, arrests 4 persons. Let uphold principles of Dr. J.B. Dankwa, minority leader, Mr. Alexander Fenyomakin. Oblimpong Dr. 𝗦chị𝗿𝗄𝗏 II is Paramount Chief of 𝗟𝗡𝗍 Alata, President of the Traditional Council. is saying this. The story is on page 14 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Chronicle, the spear of the nation, intractable 𝗟𝗡𝗍 bristles with rage, joined forces with 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗍 to prevent further pollution of River Brim. It's on pages 3 and 9 of the paper. 𝗟𝗡𝗍, soldiers seize 10 excavators in Western North, and 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Education Trust graduates 14 scholars from 8 universities. All these stories inside the Chronicle newspaper. The New Crusading Guide. Pages 3 and 10 says that the finance minister to scrap e-levy COVID tax in 2025 budget, and commodity smuggling threatens national security, ACCP, and Sunyani included in revised CRC zonal engagements. Minerals Commission hands over 175 acres reclaimed land to be BNE and 𝗟𝗡𝗍𝗿𝗘 communities, and Ken Oforiatta's contribution to Ghana's economic development. Away from that, Bankaman rejects 𝗟𝗡𝗍𝗔's orders, sets record straight on bankers' chieftaincy impasse. And so that story is also inside the New Crusading Guide. If you get a copy, these are the stories you'll be reading from there. The Metro Lens. Stop 𝗟𝗡𝗍 in the name of Ghana and God, Omani Boama warns. The story is on page 9. Achim Adadientam chief pays tributes to Dr. J.B. Dankwa's vision for Ghana. See story on page 2. Page 4 says that 2024 debt drops to 61.8% of GDP, and that is from Gideon Wako. NPP loyal ladies get new president. That story is also on page 6 of the Metroland newspaper. Get a copy from the vendors for yourself. The Hawk newspaper. Jailed for nothing, man locked up for 19 years over bangled trial. Well, we have a picture of the Chief Justice right there. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Okay. Away from that, government shuts down NPP's whooper. 100 ministers claims rubbished. That story is on page 4. Borrow, blow, nothing to show. Haruna calls for borrowing cap. Furniture frenzy, BOG headquarters, $11 million decor scandal. Well, all these stories inside the Hawk newspaper. Get a copy for yourself. We'll turn our attention to some business stories, and the business analyst says that Mahama holds bilateral talks with Burkina Faso leader. The story is on page 3. Ghana is open for business. GIPC CEO declares new era for investment. The story begins on the front page, continues on page 3. City loses marginal ground to dollar. Market sentiments to keep it stable this week. The story is on page 3. 140 million Ghana cedis needed to complete Bukuro Hospital, and that is coming from Kwabena Minta Kando. Structural transformation in Ghana not spared growth, and that is also from a report. Grab a copy of the Business Analyst newspaper. The Business and Financial Times. Fiscal discipline, revenue and debt control top IEH 2025 budget expectation. The story is on page 3. Commonwealth affirms support for Mahama's 24-hour economy. The story is on page 2. Well, still on the budget 2025, businesses confident ahead of the 2025 budget, and that is a KPMG report. Now, on chieftaincy, Coleman outdoors 𝗟𝗑𝗍𝗿𝗘 the third in nobility. The story is on page 7. Grab a copy of the BNFT and get to read all of these stories and more from there. We'll end with the graphic business and review of the 2025 budget. Tight spending, lower inflation. COVID-19 e-levy scrap will create 6.4 billion loophole, and that is on page 3, but that is also from a survey. Economic growth rebounds to 5.7% in 2024 year-on-year GDP growth rate, and these are the stories inside the graphic business newspaper. Grab a copy for yourself. We'll turn our attention again to the word of the day. is the word, and it means that being cheerful and full of energy. And so this is our word for the day to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this segment, but we'll be back with 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗍𝗏 to stay.
This is the time, no more delay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. This is the time. No more delay. Call a friend to call another that it is time for the young people to connect right here on WTV. Welcome to Y Connect, where we connect youth to Christ. The future is here.
And that is why we are back with 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗍𝗏. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition, but we are continuing our discussion on prostate cancer, and so our guest is still ready to tell us more.
As you grow, your prostate will become big. However, cancer is when, so we are made up of tiny cells.
Yes.
And when these cells decide to do their own thing, go outside the normal control of the body, the body's control, and then they start to divide faster, they start to break up and divide faster. That is what cancer is in a nutshell.
Okay.
The interesting thing about cancer is that it's not just where that bad cell is, but it can spread to different parts of the body.
Okay.
So it can spread outside the prostate to the organs there, like the base of the bladder, the urethra. It can spread to your lungs, it can spread to your liver, but it can spread to your bones as well, and your back, and can cause quite severe weakness and pain. So the interesting thing is that for what our fathers and our uncles will feel may be essentially the same.
Okay.
And I was talking about the lower urinary tract symptoms, the straining, when you have to squeeze the cell, chimansana Johnson or Abba. Because of that, no Johnson ni number from time to time you have to be going to the bathroom. All these things are called lower urinary tract symptoms.
Okay.
It is a universal problem of prostate and not just cancer.
Okay. Okay.
The interesting thing about prostate cancer is that at the very beginning, when you can intervene, that's why it's called the silent killer, you have no symptoms.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
More often than not, you have no symptoms. The normal enlargement will give you symptoms. That's how you know that it is enlarged. But the very early stages of prostate cancer, generally speaking, you may not feel anything. So that, like I was saying, that's why it's referred to as a silent killer.
Very well.
Prostate cancer generally is asymptomatic.
Okay.
That is the whole importance of why we are here, about the screening, about picking it up very early.
Right.
In situations such as this, when it advances, when it becomes a little worse, then you may start to have the lower urinary tract symptoms, the straining. Sometimes you can't hold your urine. You'll be there, from things like that. Then when it advances, it starts to spread.
Okay.
The spread is that their legs become weak. They are unable to walk.
Okay.
They have back pain, very severe back pain, or very severe pain in their bones. Sometimes they can spread to their brain and cause problems there.
Okay.
Sometimes they can spread to the liver and also cause issues there. That's the thing about cancer. Cancer is not just where it is, not just in the prostate, causing urinary problems, but it can also spread to other parts.
Ability to spread.
That'll be all for 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗍𝗏 today. Thank you so much for joining us, but we'll be back with Insurance Minute.
Oyo, let's say, oh, foul. Coco, I am team. Anyway, female strappings. Oh, this may not be you. Test be or any capsules. So the mawa, say Coco, I am team. Wifey menstrual pains in a tenant. Number and say wifey yare or choir sabia. And no missy when you're malaria. Me call ya no mammy malamis. Me buy an and ben malam say wifey. If you don't know crown what to see, say me crow when yamaqua. Oh, mammy tonic be. Bra, Mrs. say me shia to move.
Hey, honey, into your baba and I can't want some son.
Oh, baby. Oh, my baby. And did you wear? Senenso, open for, or bad time, or my abofra no for, and I abofra only in fear do you 8 me for said.
Obenya Biato, our pharmacy shop, herbal shops, any over-the-counter medicine at 0599 415191 0544 174461 and 0208 161800.
Welcome back. This is Insurance Minutes and it's brought to you by 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance Company. Today on Insurance Minutes, we're recommending all the insurance policies from 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance Company to you. But insurance could only get better if you are always contributing and you're making sure that your premiums go or are paid right on time. That is the only way you can get to enjoy your insurance policy as and when you place your claims. And so please do well to log on to their website, get to read more about the terms and conditions, get to read more about the policies, and get to familiarize yourselves with the different insurance policies and the ones that will suit your very need. Thank you so much for watching Insurance Minute here on Wesleyan Television. My name is Miss Now. We'll be back with more. Do all to stay.
Midin the AC done well. Obetumia from me ACD. May a virtual insurance underwriter. I'll meet me up wow. Ama wonsaka motor insurance policy. Sima eduntem. Nia ubeyan so besani me hi. Ewa WhatsApp number is so 050-168-7806. Na enchakra. Me jejumano amao.
If it must be done, it must be done well.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have brought results.
This is the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. It is a luxurious and comfortable guest house in the heart of Kumasi. Our guest house features a range of modern and spacious rooms, each with its private bathroom and amenities. Our guests can enjoy various on-site facilities, including a restaurant, conference halls, event center, spacious car park, CCTV cameras, lifts, generator, and many more. We are conveniently located opposite the Wesley College of Education near the Swami Roundabout in Kumasi and are easily accessible by public transportation. We look forward to welcoming you to the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. Contact us by telephone 050-650-8591 or 050-650-8592, or you can email us at fmghlghana@gmail.com or use our website www.fmghotelghana.com. Freeman Methodist Guest House, where serving you is our delight.
All right, it's a good morning. Mia to maro wezo na mikata va do wena ya ji leke mia fokan alo mia gala baji anyankonye Adzika agbamanya Vincent anglon to manyo ta mia dato na mia akpoma mia be wezo na mikata. Well, it's just a good morning, so I was just speaking in my language to say, well, I'm a native of the Anglon land, and so I'm saying good morning to all who can speak my mother tongue. Well, Osofo is ready for us, and very soon I will be welcoming him, but in the meantime, it is a good morning to all of us who make this show a proper show. Well, we are still the lead #1 most watched Christian morning show here in Ghana. It is Sorry Nashrain. Wake up to a purposeful day. It is time for Dero, and Dero is proudly sponsored by the Freeman Methodist Guest House, the only anti-malaria, anti-mosquito hotel in Ghana. And baby, Methodist for Faba. Good morning, Osofo, the very Reverend 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 here, aka Bra Eric. Osofo.
Good morning, the very Reverend Vincent Adzika.
My Nima brother. My Nima brother.
Sure.
Ezi etibi ma amafo no clue kakra no muhu ze me no na hyaase na wo abelenkpe anana mememi wo mamobi Methodist but na ye nyina ye hye Accra New Town Circuit ase. We were in the youth together. Eti ene chia o chia for Accra New Town old youth form ka ho pa na chia cha omu nyina mame.
No crapa say yeah the old guards Accra New Town.
That's right. So for akwaba fanchegu from na yonko.
Yenia na ene de senior wangasa wonim no mentumi amba studio direct na matwemi fi me hideout na ye gidi se nyankopon ankasa obeye adom bebre
ambiance ne so nya bad ambiance no so ginam ambiance no
It's a
traditional kama.
It's a
mate so yetio sir.
I it's a Ghana man thing, you know. Be a traditional.
No.
Traditional.
No. Yeah. Also for Chiamai.
Minia ya da nyame ase. Minia ya da nyame ase, ya da mo nso ase pa na anope ten ya de bia ye no. Ya di nchia kese ma nyankopon na afi so ye chia ye papa nom edikan the most reverend Professor Jacob Nasa Mwajidua Oye presiding bishop of Methodist Church Ghana. And after so ne hokafo ma Theodora ye bo irade mpaye ama won bia wo bia edwuma kese a ehye won sa no irade adomnya kese na wonye edwuma no saa so na ye papa papa kwesi ata entry ene ye maame anti akusia ata entry ye chia mo pa saa so na ye chia the Right Reverend Dr. William A.J. Imperige, the administrative bishop of the Methodist Church, and the Hokanfo Ma Doris. So, Yichiano, the will be a Yadin Chakes, and the diet, nor the bishops in the sitting bishops, past bishops, Yichia Bishop Wafo, Nina, the Bibia will be a Urade Inshira Enyakes, Emma, the superintendent ministers are all. Connection no nyina ye tia won ye renfi ye papa nom de maame nom the lay chairman of the various dioceses and the synod secretaries of all the various dioceses secretaries of synods nyina ye tia mu nyina na ye chia ya asofo nyina ye chia ye papa nom ne ye maame nom mo ye super numerisa omo ewofia omo hwe yen adedia omo boa yen na omo mayen akwankyerɛ ɛwɔ yɛn dwumadie mu yorade onhyira mu yorade enhyira ya sorry mu organizations ni nyinaa ɛyɛ evangelist for any superannuated evangelist yɛwie mfiri mu nyame onhyira mu na organizations yɛkyekyɛ na ɛnɛ deɛ sɛdeɛ asɔfo Adzika ka yɛkyia Old Methodist Youth Fellowship members nyinaa Accra Newtown Circuit yɛkyia mu nyinaa
that's right
ɛfiri mu a more North America, Ghana, Hanom, more Accra Newtown, more Nima, Echichi Amunina, yes, Irade, Inshira, Amamo, Papa, I mean, Inshram, na, yes, Irade Shrama, Yemi, and more diaspora. North America, BC, Europe, Kika, Africa, Hanum, Bibi Obibia, Wubia, Yedi Radin Shirakesi, Eddie Brett Munana, Mushaye, Methodist for any non Methodist in Yanara, Mua Mushaye Yanan, Iradi Unshisha Munina, na Oma Insimuye, Yesu Christo Dimo, your Sunday school for any Asafumame, Eku, Miss Pafo, Yechia Munina. Iradin shiramu nyina na osofo Adzika ekosi ada abesin kwe yeko Cape Coast na yeko hwe yensofo penin the very reverend Professor John David Kwamena Ekem
okay
in that no as super Cape Coast West
yeah
na yeko hwe na yeko ye no asori manu bebre na asofo amiye yechia asofo Adzika yechia mesna asofo amiye yechia wonpa entima menom amuwo Cape Coast so peni Ekem Professor nebusia omo hwe ye nyina ye dinchia kese pa ema mu nyina Cape Coast for Irade onhyira mo papa say mo support WTV endwumedi ye sorry na hye ene ne aka ne nyina Irade enhyira mo.
Amen. Also, for Kobanisa Bisa, what were the activities of the past week, and what will be the activities of this week from the headquarters perspective?
And from conference office, there we say major highlight of the week gone by. No, yeah, Kappa the Indiana SH Emisa Memorial Lectures here. Yeah, ewo Accra Calvary Adabraka who said na minia wonso udi mu akotini a me no wa na ehye honoma yeah yechidom ewo dwumedie ni mu enti ye maame ma Araba ata Sam ene ne busua Methodist asori ehye we numnyam na wotwe abesenkwe ifiada no memena no na yem presiding bishop nso no oho a odi dwumedi nenim. It was under his auspices na megidi se enra mo ka ho ensem bebre lay president no ho administrative bishop no nso ewo ho no na lay president a omabesenko omobetina akonwa nso nyina so they were all there in their numbers lay chairman for ene enipa no bebre na bia ewo ho no enti no ye koso ewo na wotwi mu ye lent ndwumedi ni mu nyinara ihu se pictures no twagu ewo screen ne so abra ye ka ho asem 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗔 memorial lectures I koso ewo Accra Calvary Methodist Society na nije pa ti hu say past presiding bishops no nso ewo honum in their numbers your past administrative bishop nso na honum and papa of we right no nso ewo honum ewade enhira na yesre ama nyina ewade enhira won yo
all right also for right
various meetings near there work connectional office on Wesley Towers nyina ebekoso
okay also for you better saying so to our first story. The Finance Minister, Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Forsen, will today present the 2025 budget statement and economic policy to Parliament, making the first comprehensive financial roadmap of the Mahama administration since assuming office. Now, the highly anticipated budget is expected to outline bold policy measures aimed at stabilizing the economy, fostering growth, and addressing the nation's physical challenges. Now, Afrifoni nyina say ene de ya ye giremu eye owura Dr. Opabene Kaseel ato forcing wobeko eye mrahwebedwam na said ye Ghana mamra etie no se ye ba behye afibia se na ye ba na ye didi ye ho nkomo na ye wura afinimu ene sikasam ene ehon toto ye dia na ese yetimi ema eye papai a oye Ghana nyina osoafo a ohwe sikasam ene ne ntoto ye so no oba begina eye mrahye bedwom na ode sikasam akonhumabosam etudwa eno ana eba abekoso ene osofo all ears are going to the House of Parliament, especially we want to see what will be the post 120 days. Some important things, cancellation of the so-called useless tax binomo NDC ekeka ho asam. I want to see them. Now, minority is also gazingly going to make sure that President Mahama does not introduce any other tax, and this has been a warning to the presidency already. Also for say.
Thank you very much, Minia. Now, you said His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ebaye policies be kokoswa eboa ewo economic recovery nimo. Na ebetumi aka say even the IMF program which is already in place and also aboa for some fiscal discipline. Na ihia pa. Now, as we prepare ourselves for the reading of the budget and our budget presentation, and they also for Nyoma Bakumienu Bia, me said the current finance minister, Ediatutu Nakwemono. Now, it was a bit heartwarming. Now, who said, just said, a shame crime. Me who said, finance minister, any team, echo round, it was some of the various market centers. Na omone the ordinary traders ebedi for omone edi nkomo na ahokeka bi ene ade aba wo mu na etisa ade na che se eye asempapa enti se ye ka se ye tie wo and you're not made the me expect to say budget na eba it will factor in the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Say if you default afi de SSA buying kwako down akotie won nya say ye kwakotie won keke na mum ebeba to be part of the policies that the finance minister is going to put up to the people. And say Sadia not just say yatit de Sadia not just say asem papa na mum me expect to say certain taxes you can't say ye baby ye free on. And they say those taxes in nuisance taxes in the I say you to me a free budget presentation. But men come quiet to say business as usual. Ye taxes in a free home. Now feel so I had to say and say any fan man. And you say you sign as a deba Yashana Target for na ye asanya aba David na mi susu ni se nyamenya atom na enyoma ebeboa na Ghana for edwedifo Ghana for ordinary people chese ye salary or Ghana han ye ho be han with policies from the finance ministry policies ebetumi aboya ebetumi nya economic. It's our pocket. And you know, say you bet to me in your BB now feed the bottom line. The pocket of the ordinary Ghanaian. You to me in your sika at your bottom and you take home pocket. Now, so a bit to me a take the month. I not just say, and your papa abba. And your bonfire, they are straight right there. The finance ministry said, no more for policies, sir. For economic recovery, Emra.
Okay. All right. Enti sofo yebemo modern we say yebetimi ebubu adiemu kakra nti ahwefo if you just tune in, this is WTV's flagship program Sorina Shade Rosso anayewa mene minua Nima brother osofo ame here yedi enkomo no na ye ka say enne Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗘 forcing Ubejina Ghana Mamra. So indeed, he is going to predicate his presentation on the Act 179 of the 1992 Constitution, the Section 21 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, indeed Act 921. Also for number one, the economy. What are we going to expect from the economy, especially our indebtedness, Ghana Yadeka? We are still in the IMF program. We had President Mahama granting an interview and talking about the fact that the IMF and our debtors should not impose cultural constraints on us because we owe them. Yadeka. Na Okafor susu edidi. What do you expect to come out of today's presentation when it comes to our debt?
Yo, as of Benin said, debt situation there. About me, like I said, and yet we are not masters when it comes to economic management. Now, so. For us as Ghanaians, and ordinary people on the streets of Ghana, who said in recent past, and your answer that uncle ye, I can say external forces we are affected the macroeconomic indicators microeconomic we so I really affected. Nemum say ye to me etua yen debt yen ka ye de enkofo eno ye sha se be ye domestic exchange program ho ensem bebre a ebe ha yen se government to me etua bond holders no na external bonds no so government to me manage ni year. I think say ebe put yen the end be gina biapa afi no yankasa yebetumi handle ye nyoma ewo ye economy no mu na ye expect say finance minister ebe odi enhyehyɛ pa bi a ebetumi akyerɛ yɛn sɛ sisi ano yefi hanom a yɛkɔ hanom ɛka yɛdede nkrɔfoɔ no ɛkwan wei na yɛafa so a yɛtua yɛmu binom yɛ tete sɛ o ɛme sɛ finance minister ɔbaayɛ ɔde ne nan esi fam ahobrɛaseɛ mu a ɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ ɛka ne bi no yɛbɛtete so ne adeɛ saa nneɛma no we want to see it in the budget presentation sɛ ɔyɛ ɛna ɛkwan a ɔde bɛfa so a within few years no yɛbɛyi ne nyinaa firi hɔ nom a afi yɛnkɔ hyɛ IMF foɔ ɛnsa bio mu a yɛwura His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛka sɛ yɛkɔ a na afi ɔmo de policies bi ɛba abɛha yɛn adeɛ baako so a ɛsɛ yɛhwɛ ne sɛ budget yi mu no yɛhu sɛ external donors yi a ɔmo influence yɛn cultural practices yi America for especially USAID ɔmo eyi ɔmo grant ni ade ɔmo de ma yi ɔmo ate so anase baby kora ɔmo yi ne nyinaa firi hɔ no. How is the finance ministry going to make up for the shortfalls that are coming from these external donors? And also, very, 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 very important. And you know, say, $1, that's actually a zero, no more day back. What are we going to do to make sure, say, in the health sector, in certain areas, of our economy, how are we going to make up for all those shortfalls? Eba isan said external donors no won sika no if you hold man answer what it is so cry. Enti yebehwe sa no nyina as we look forward to the presentation of the budget.
Okay. Very well. Also for this is in pursuance to Amamu Papa ye bompa ye se President Mama yenya to abama no wode ebema ye se Ghana fo yenyi otwe eyi adoa ni nyina ne se yenyina timamufo ye ho be han yen na yetimi abobra papa. Now the Minister of State in charge of communications Felix Quarcoo fosu edin sembi etudwa just to whet our appetite and to help us ease our expectations towards a net dear baby season. And this is what he said. Now, the social contract, he claims, outlines 26 key pledges aimed at revitalizing the economy and easing the financial burden on Ghanaians. Amongst other things, will include the removal of e-levy, COVID levy, the 10% tax on betting winnings, and the emissions levy. These are things Felix Etutu just say President Mahama Ebeyamai. He had a social contract with all Ghanaians. It was supposed to be in a space of 120 days. And then we are expecting a total scrap of all the taxes. We don't want to hear say ye be from the biakwa baby. Also with that, we want to just oppose this into inflation, the foreign exchange escalation.
Also for who say budget presentation. So for who say enkaino, budget presentation who kai say yeah, Papa, Professor, 𝗦cije𝗿𝗘𝗏 no more breast no yeah presentation of budget. No man, you I yes attention. Chese budget by Tino. Budget back again no. I just attention pa my enemy. No crofokra do no mercy see near there. Chese budget back again. You never really so not just say, you know what to do, no way. Now, so Sisiano, who say with time, you know, Yaya Mafi, ye demystify, we know, says a through any what budget, whom new win, ye free hodom. Now, we share the Kakra, Yenia, honorable, Quarcoo fosu, Ediama ye. Not just say, Side, who I am a best and crofumuni adiano, what brand was it? a glimpse of what is to come. Wakeka bibi actually say awaiting your appetite. Essentially put you in the right mood for us to be receptive towards the budget. Ain't just say amembo no and things are becoming very good. Now say who share the substance of what the honorable na all can. Neopachen say social contractor buying, which is this Excellency John Dramani Mahama now buying a NDC government in any Ghana for SSA, some social contract, or but now wababe timu na wababe finching na maybe a woman a social contract or kind of betting tax levy a COVID-19 levy, they are friend the nuisance tax. Ebinum importation, who import vehicle taxes be added. That's why I'm taxes in be brave into cost of product I importing. Yenye hanu import afi na no so ba na ne born den or say social contract no oba be ye free ho na me the pastor wo dey kan ho say ye free ho no ma. Na afi ye boa na ye de 24-hour economy aba na edwuma aba be ye ewo oman yi mu a ma ye mfa sa taxes no enkonko hyehyɛ other places man say ye atibio ye hu bi da in times past maybe so for kai say na bibi wo ho no my friend talk tax na NDC amembo talk tax na afi na amanfo hu kire o na ye kana opposition ho say ye bigi free bigi fi ho afi e ba ya ye
communication service tax no osofo yen yakwakoye asofo yi a Methodist for ye bra nyoma bi te say gambling ti da no na me ka wa han say mehu in one of our minute books of conference mama afo blame no more time na ye gigina mu pa say bibia ye gambling de ye twem, and she was one of the people who championed it a lot. Say ye mami na aye dwuma GS achra de Director General Wesley Girls papa ba ko na onim what it means to say ye mabunu beko into gambling no money so on that day those days the board on social services in those days decided say gambling should not be in our domain at all. Methodist ye gigina mu say lotto any be for gambling be a trim. Don't you think say we should use that same approach to tell President Mahama to at least maintain the betting tax nanye a deterrent emma bunu? So for say emma bebre do mo so young girls on campuses are now into lotto. They are now into various sports bettings.
I so me jidi say senior okay eye bibia Methodist ye hyehyɛ o say fantimu na ya ka say daminyame onye he ntoye kra enye bibia ye gitum eye hyehyɛ no senior ye nyoma no senior ye sumi rade fa ye doctrines ye bibia Bible mu asɛm a ye nima ye de boy ye mra no ye ewo mu pefe say lotto gambling no sa nyoma nyina enye na sene mpinifo a ebikan agitu mu no ye nya ade a ye free ye hyehyɛ mu. It has been there and consistently sisi a ye mame comfort route kote papa fio ene miankasa ya ji sa nyoma we nyina the last conference report na wom the directorate mu ye report na wom say we have to fight against this gambling now into our system. Preachers have been encouraged to ensure they bring out messages that will fight against this gambling we are. Just fun a crime be so attractive. What about young women, young men? If you don't want school fees, crampo, no what they are betting.
Yeah.
What they are sorry them so for preaching. na wo phone so
Ochaloto.
beti e wo phone so abra sofo eprichi
Sofo ojam straight we fire ojam straight. Sofo preaching na uchaloto I saw them the ojam straight. Oh
especially anybody sorry. Sofo especially anybody sorry.
Yeah.
Omo bobo no omo Premier League matches na omo bono. Na sofo eprichi na say lay preacher eprichi sorry penny kan irade asem. Na ubehu na mrantie emaba we woti hono no wo miamia phone so ubeka say message na wo tie ama sana ebinom
Ochaloto
na betting na wo betting on Premier League matches.
That's right.
Ochaloto e wo Premier League match a ekwoto na senior last conference ye it was reported in meme directorate report no it was there say sorry na and sorry against this gambling I'll be sorry mono a social vice na yem penesto sa so na ye ma comfort so any ne dom so almost nyina ye nyina ya ka into wo hwe meme directorate no so she's a member say ye nyina ya ka bom say na be ya sa social nyoma ya enye no ye betumi akon etia into no matter this day yen hye no hono say ye kwiti asa nyoma na say wo ka say taxes no ene ne akika ho a yenye ni holistic say na be ya it will not be attractive to the young people. I don't think say 10% to say there be a percentage taxes here. GG was it's a deterrent be enough. So na a man telling maba wano koso ye all
right.
It's the holistic a better disincentive class so yeah na ban so enya sika e free sa bet anyway onye sika free honum sisi tax no so wutie ni abanye ka ye fi young people ne so ye fi omo a omo ekoye omo winnings ne so na de akwakoto we na nkasa so ye can say company gaming companies no ankasa so in all one thing is they also find a way of passing it on to
to the gamers
final consumers
which
will be the young people in there disincentive here sadie we anobe brase.
All right. Also, in concluding on this budget presentation, attending matters arising, the opposition is also raising a red flag. Maybe I think the word opposition what parliament say because already yen ready budget in Ukraine they are opposing views already. So once a person goes to parliament say opposition say we are going to oppose or majority on him say you could bunkama foul so say I am the majority. Kojo Upon Kroma Esquire has said government should come very plain. There should be truthfulness in their delivery of this year's budget. There should be a certain level of transparency in the things they tell us today. Asafo, can you hear me? Hello, Asafo. Asafo, tell me question, no?
Oh.
Did you hear my question, please?
I no, it looks as if the line was.
All right. Now, so what I was saying is that. All right. What I was saying is that former Minister Information, former Minister Housing is saying, say to me, Koba say, doctor, Ebabejina, na or the budget need to draw. Say, or manu corridie, any per your ebem. And I make a say, already no, I see a certain level of opposition already. Say, ye name say opposition side of parliament, they omu oppose. In 2 years, then there's going to be something about the budget that will be opposed vehemently. Do baby so a majority so yes so a majority so koya de ni ebunkama fa so they will tell you our voice and our numbers will overshadow you. So already there is a tug of war. over the budget that is yet to be presented?
Near opposition, eka, near government of the day, eka. As I say, yet, I say, question who can be said. A year now, yet to say, we will always have the opposition in parliament. Yes, we'll see. But I think say, we should move on and see, say, there should always be an alternative plan, a different idea, which, if taken up, it shouldn't be opposition. It shouldn't be said, near say we say no. It should be alternative. What can you also bring on board that say you're far able to be abua? Now what's here near honorable upon Kroma Air Kenya as the minority spokesperson on finance. No Pachene said government shouldn't paint a gloomy picture. Ebeha said international forces in economic we are outside the country or boying bilateral multilateral partners who say Ghana with our economy because certain progress have been made in the economy, but and also say the finance minister should not espouse that. The finance minister should be able to talk about Nia Enkoye, but he should also be able to talk about Nia Akoye. Anya Shekrampono, Yewo, IMF policies are Tisia Airboa, putting on the right track. Anya Yekrampono, you who said there is some small recovery, and it didn't just happen. A policies we have been taking over the years, now for your resource and ever. Inflation, and then you who say things can work out. Into no, as I say, you balance it. We know now. To say me opposition, just say and you make it piano, and yet me wa ben moi you make it piano, and no ye. We should be able to always marry the two and see say back a alternative we are. Yet fair no so now say they can't want a bit to me aboa. Yeah, this idea. Ghana will develop very, very well and very fast.
I think so. So for President Mahama is also talking and saying, some tours among young Numbia. Omuye omadwene say, womu efi omufi ECOWAS nimu, and these are Mali, Burkina Faso, and our brethren, the Nigerians. Now, where the only interview be a course no catch IMF for say IMF maintain your mandate. Mo bob besia, mo te say multi credit for mo bob besia. Mo bob besia. Na say mo bob besia there. And the other na mo ye madwene say te say yes so yamamra yedidwira ye hu say Ghana for mbese mo borum, and this is in recognition to the fact to say yenum ye say LGBTQ no yempe President Mama sa tosi wie ya wo ba yi wo twa nani aba ana wotimi grant sa interview a me ye pese ye uma ye di hu nkomo yi.
Ade on say so for Eliana ye can that say say wo hwe me yen amembu a ye bibrim hanoma yen sikasem say na ye ana ehwan ye di ntino de bi ana yakọ inuanom mpenimfo ye omowo Britain Woods institutions kimu ewa manone na ye kwa stress wo meboa ye na ni akoba ne se nyama President Mahama kasa abra Sahel for ensami abaya omoye ho enhimudie no kasa na question ye puti na ono so emehi ano concerning IMF for dwumedi odi wa Africa no se mode sika ebeboaye mode policies bi ebeboaye na mode conditions bi to ho sa ebi na nansen mu ye tete se se Ghana ye sign ye emra ye dia ko mra se bebie mu se ye mpe sa LGBT service mi e we ye ma yim se Ghana egitum dia ene na sika wo de beboa ye no won fa moa ye ye papa his excellency John Dramani Mahama ka se IMF ene mu amaka ni nyina muntie se moba beboa ye ewo ya membu mu ye sika semeni na ekeka ho mu a munjai se mode culture ka ho se by force senia ye nyoma no yenso yensesa entwa ye ohun eye sika sem na ye ka ho asem na enye se ebia sika no kwampo mode be ma ye free na se we mode paso kwampo say two way affair eya mo baji nyoma we ye ho mo ye resources ne ade ye wo kwan ye fa so ye tua sa wo nyina na bosi aye ba bebo mo ho nti no na mo kire ye nse oba ni oba enkoda be ma ni oba ma enkoda omo nware anyway se mo anja antum dia ye mpene ani Mahama aka ehia pa ne se sa emre ya inkan na ye private members bill ye de call mmase bedwam no isi ade yemfa mra aban asoye na aban ankasa emfa de ni enhwem na aban emfa enkom mmase bedwam o se one speaker of parliament akasa na it is ade ende na che se Ghana ya che asempa bibi papa bi eba na no na IMF one omo keka ho sa institutions se omo bobo se ya bebia na omo de sa nyoma we to ye nchok no uhu se omo sha se omo ye sa nyoma yi okọ Sahel ho no so a omo gusto ka ho no nsem amambo mu nsem se ye ka amambo mu nsem na economic way dia nkeye na mom se ye descend abaye cultural practices religious practices say mo be ma ye security no by force say ye ja ye de na ye be fa mo de dabi eno de
entwa yi
enye ne sa
osofo entwa yi kra nti president Mahama kasa no ya o kasa no ana o kase se koba no saade a ene na yenuano miensa o mafi ECOWAS omsoso no say we tie wo mo asem sometimes I think people mean well obi o how to say why you boni o but na the person actually meant well name anko yie Mijidi se bibisa and President Mahama Patre say the three countries have some legitimate concerns as to why they had to exit from ECOWAS. But yekotie president na ensem odi tu dwa no yesoso yemfamumu.
African tradition, we know that if your brother does you a favor, the next morning you have to come and say thank you. We had elections last year in Ghana, and I was elected the president, and I sent an invitation to my brother to come and attend my investiture, and he left everything he was doing and came to the investiture. And so when he was leaving, I told him I'll come and say thank you. So I came here to thank him very much for coming to our inauguration. We've had a long discussion, and I think that we've discussed issues of mutual interest. We've discussed the issue of AES and ECOWAS, and I've got new perspectives about the concerns that the three countries have in respect of their relations with ECOWAS. And so I assured Mr. President that at the next ECOWAS meeting, I would pass on what they have explained to me to the other leaders. I think there's a breakdown of trust amongst the leadership. It will take time to rebuild it, but we have to work on it so that we restore trust and confidence with each other so that we can work together, you know, even if we are not part of the same regional body. And so we discussed that. We also discussed security. I mean, in Africa, we say when your neighbor's house is on fire, you have to help him to quench it, otherwise it will spread to your own house. This issue of terrorism started with Mali, and it spread gradually into Niger and now into Burkina Faso. And like I said, terrorism is like a cancer. If you don't fight it together, it will spread throughout the body. So how we can collaborate in terms of the fight against terrorism is another issue we discuss.
All right, inti President Mahamana or Kasano. Say who say oyonko ne dan eja ehye no se dworobe a wobeboa no na wetimi ako eja no. Ebi susu kra se wokoto se oyonko na bodwe ehye a. Nye se wo se nsu amana dumu wo se nsu osi wudion. Sa ana hebe no. But the President Mama kan nyina ne se onimpa se yenuanom ye omufri eye ECOWAS mu yi wo trust issues with ECOWAS nankasa leadership no abra ebeba ne se leaders be sen hia no eguso ejina Ghana na mu ECOWAS okwa ode asemi be akwa akokotudwa izan se yenuanom wo some legitimate consent eno anana President Mama o chirechire mu a yehu se the foreign minister Ora kuje to jina into ora gbavlo latte susu jina ho Madam Shemima Muslim so ejina ne nchen a omunyina ebo nechi dom. Also for just a comment, we'll move on to the next story.
Yo minya also for me that say na who say important pa near era His Excellency Dramani Mahama important in yapa. As I said, your neighbors, no, even Anuma or Burkina name Niger Mali no. As I said, your bomb modern said, your new iron profano, you beat in team ya emu ebeyedene. His son said, Senior President Eken, said, Ijano aso or horno, ya more in Dumuna, ebeba. Na almost free ECOWAS, Munia, Sahel, we countries almost free ECOWAS mean. Almost consent. Now concerns and also saying tier one, if we don't listen to them, it will be very difficult. A bad thing pass a bad woman saying tier one until here pass it tier one. Now a couple they say send ya at the end any approach almost take here into no. The brainer I had said they are staying on the fence here to 3 years because who's look cross it and I say bibi na obidi bibi for international community anymore. Now so and a moment President Etui a year papa said you bet me tie no one concerns. For all you know, if those concerns are addressed, they'll come back to join the body. But can be so very important said. Even if they don't belong to the ECOWAS body now, their concerns are very, very important to the ECOWAS body. Into tie catch ECOWAS body na ya pepper in part ya befa so you bet me a solve amount. A banner at the NCC in the bar. Not just say, about you say, SU, a dia SU, so probably a year dumono.
About you said, yes, she ain't ye, a baby say, a be a beck cayenne, and so for you move on. Also for speakers also air cast. As for speakers also kasa say International Women's Day yes so Methodist for Women's Work Sunday timi kasa ne ye mami comfort route called Papa Fio Obeba Studio ha me aka ma hunsem ma etimi aboa ya safui Methodist asafui from its inception to ye beka ho but affirmative action act ya say ababa betodwe onu de ogidi say President Mama wan shada emfuntum yi ama ye hu wo cabinet nim bebre sa but speaker na ekasenti enkotie speaker
we have tarried long in passing this law. Let us not apply the same wishy-washy attitude towards its implementation. I am not impressed with what I have seen so far in the position of women in the leadership of 1, Parliament, 2, committees of Parliament, and 3, appointments to ministerial positions. I'm not impressed at all. Even the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is not a cabinet ministry.
All right, Speaker, Right Honorable Alban Bagbin, Brother Kingsford, or say on your impress cry. Azofo.
So for who said affirmative action, Parliament, Tina Hoyer, Chinchimia, Utintimia, the Bukrata Aswa. I said, the no, a member moon 70, 30% each lady and case the boy not a ma. It me a bim. You know, ye ma menum and man. We are not seeing, sir, affirmative action and she say, war the government of the day wanted to hear him. Intino say, Speaker of Parliament, Odika. Just imagine, say, just 2 women in cabinet. Who say minority leader, so era, His Excellency, Echo Parliament, Echo yes, son and no. He raised it. He raised it, and he even started mentioning names of competent women who can also do almost me abua aye nyoma. Na say eba ne say ekoye to say ade edaya no affirmative action edaya no. Na say yemfa ni adwuma on the ground there. Na just say ensem bebre ebeba. Na ne nyame ncha de they were the first female vice president of our republic. And the not just say a man no ye nuanom ne ye maame nom ye ma no what to do. Just say nka ye ko bibia ye tumi ede won ko ye de won hyehyem na won so wotumi boa edidwuma. Esan say who can progress our nations mu ni ade a you can never take away the contributions of our dear women. 90 ekoba ne sen na Ira Dramani Mahama yenim say ono de eba no affirmative action a odi mu akotene papa ekoba ne sen na afidie na mambo yi mu ema edwumedi anase say na ede ombeka on abafo ebinom so e kan say ade no wohwe a edin say nipa de doso na kakra bi na yefa nti na yentwe selection no be say aye bi omu na bi aka enuanom ma no fairly so na afi so no wohwe parliament one man kasa so a speaker can say parliament no one leadership no the role of women shada enkwedi musa na who can na ba bi say parliament number of women in representation eswati internet just said is being affected into affirmative action no. The 2 major political parties won't find a juma to the extent say they will give women the opportunity. Ewo baby momo it me astande as normal babeboa me amambo ni hu say e ma no enye je say kasa keke na yeka but e ma no so jebi on the ground pa.
All right, so 0256253461 0533500625 your numbers are your juma ewo studio ha. Enkomodidi no na ahyase. Sofo Eric achire na adwene. Wo so brane be kire wadwene said ye yono no. Enye ntokwa kwan so. Ene orato ebe gina House of Parliament na yamana kasamu ama afi ode akonhumabo honsam atodwa ama Ghana mamuni nyinara the president mama ene ne cabinet ede asoma no ana ode baba ba tudwa enye wono ana adwene na emum ona yesoafo enti ene ho ntotoye ne hyehyeye de wono ana tintim ana wakuruche ede agu nkrata zo ene wo ba na wa ba kinkan bi a kyerен already we had seen some survey that he has done an online survey ebi kura ka se ye hyehyɛ ade ni wi ansa na oye survey no but yen kwa saman kese na yen konkɔkyia. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning, Papa. Present.
Yeah, I this show.
No, me do some idea as usual. So be Papa.
Yeah.
Hey, Bishop. Right, Reverend, they call what thing. Because I mentioned it. Now, Papa, wait a minute. On the page, I'm coming to debate. I'm say a never can kind budget. Now, Papa Mr. Oh, wait there. A baby so I'm fancy. Now, obey here, they be pan, what I did be mano. Also, as I did him, once in beside an uncle, so running here. A yamano. Where soon I would difference him. I know could you go at who from the pen of an energy. Why be that? Oh, Papa, what's the idea? Papa, why be that?
Main Kaisa.
Oh, and never get to know. Papa, you're tree button, that I know, repackaging.
Okay.
Repackaging another call. You levy, yes, you pet. You live in every content, a year free content anymore. Edia could different container, near a year in the mono. Sa, it's a baby. That I know, I get me through. Now, ye de go good at roof, a repackaging. Say, what because any economy, Papa. Say, what can say we a year, sa levy safe one more. And then, or the boy, my no. Into tax media, it will remain. But only say the name, the content, with the name and then the packaging will change. It will change. You are going to be paying for those levies.
All right.
Now, you say, sign one the entry through. Anybody, oh, you levy, but you bet you will be for COVID-19 taxing, you bet you will be for. They have been mentioning, say, you levy and then COVID-19 tax will go. What is what I can bet him has them? Betting tax what I can have them. So, okay. Upon can be said. The Minister of Finance should be truthful to whatever he's going to say. Into a dubra, as a kind of yema a memo phone who said, and maybe one more 8 minutes through.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think your point is, but let's go to Tabora. Matthew. Yeah, this show.
So for last week, I'm working
okay.
Nana Permincha was awful, super. Well, Reverend Dominic answer, Nibema second soft super.
All right.
So for I said, the chief call I of here, I said, or say, you never really I don't know, tax no more, you know, only I am what covered on the way of mine. Over the middle, you never knew my, I tell my comment name I know. Now, or my no move. Ya na be share on ade bibi be share say ya fan support o ade na twem o da o scan ye hu de o scan ye edi to ma aba ho fra ba no say scan o mo ji no e hu nya sisi abi enti yin fro no ma no fo no e hu nto ma me ji say e ade pa because o e za tax ni bi a e hu nya na deda eni o ma so na ba ni o ma bo aye din o kodwo ma ama ni o ma bo aye din eti yi za ni o ma ni bi as wona so ma o ti ma mfo no Omuko mbedu omukakra enu mbebu ache se edi nyama nyina be soa omune de bia be kokuru na uto ade ka tikitu e na osika nyina asa edi se no man no omanfo no so mo beto omo nya manfo mpedifo no kwa de bia odo mo beto omo na ti mamfo no mo ebre edi de opani mu Jesus o mu yi ta nyama ni friwa ebeboa na o man no puntu no so akoyi.
All right, yeah, that's it pa nti eguso eka Omai who was some and can ene budget ye de baba betuja. Also for Abra ye trainer ya twasono na ye can NIB ade bia odisi ne nisu se obeye ne se na dream bi nikata as shebia e course or National Service Secretariat no omoye eho enhwehwemu no ye di kan frem penifo ni bi na opani ba ko a abetodwa se nansia ye frɛ no a ye detain no ye se ye gya no se onko bill bond bi ase na omoame enye nhwehwemu ye owuraye gifty or remains. Also for your comment on that. Osafo.
Hello, yeah, Osafo. Mbacho te menka.
Yeah, meto nka mfe. Mbacho to asoma
yen. Say okay, you mean say yeah, can say.
Osafo, menya ofre for back unti meko ne so aba. Philo, good morning. Yeah, this you. Yeah, nyame adom ye ho ye pa.
Papa mesoma wo ye pa.
Okay.
Me trena machia asafotania me ye. And me papa Charles Kojo Samuel. Say she be quite senior secretary. Papa, me dey hand me aye. Chacha to the tax na. So omu so mu yi so mo ye ndenyo. Omo fanto. Chacha no mo fanto. Sebaya emrante ne mababa ne be dia chatecha. Na si ade adwuma kro mo mpebie mo. Chacha na no mo cause na we baboa omayini. Papa ene Ghana akọ mazike de ba tuja. End of that for the kind na yeah better. Edi are wo mani. Mo fam na ye wu de begina. Papa me tie ja tela. Me tell go. Ya me come me kwa mo bia.
Fireman.
You.
Yeah, this you.
Bacho bibi aboko de.
Nyame adom.
Ana pay mu wa efe papa money ejuma amu ye di ma ye my Ghana.
Amen.
So what if you say me baba no ofelo pa.
Oh sir.
Na bibi ye no. Me bag no ofelo to. Ana pay asem kakra. Me pese me kan say budget na e be kan no finance minister. Me die me pese TTBA, me petin TBA sa. Ade emunya me papa wa say yi levi no. His Excellency John Dramani Mama campaign mu omodi e campaign ba so ba obey yi levi ne fi wono. And as a COVID task. Any chacha task no. And also no almost me yes wono. Inti idea me expect na omo enye fi mu dia enye ye be mo ja no edi omo chipa. And as soon as Speaker of Parliament also no me bona baso but asema aka no menini nyetuma menini nyate adentina menini nyate e wo mu se wo mla ni mu se wo family ministers e wo se ma 30%, but His Excellency John Dramani Mahama aka Sankofa ono e president eno awo veto power say ni opebia no also ye inti se wa fam bazugo e wo na memoni mu a Speaker of Parliament then ni wasem anya wasem but who kasa esa imanu ugbo enimtia ugbo omu enimtia inti message na mai na ase omo so no mo ye demonstration efentia Speaker of Parliament mo ni na mi yeduma
na emanu mumu a omu pese yetimi to nsafro mu ba beka ho no mumu na eco demonstration. Well, I think that the speaker has a legitimate call and it is in the act. Roman father.
Papa ikase.
Empom te say yeto nka che.
Nyakopa da Roma. The way pa metia papa troko.
The radius. Yetie o.
Ayo, mama, ene me expect a free budget kono. Ma me from of this the commander. Also wakati obeyi ta ne free. Eti ya pale chao. The society on Dramani Mahama. And then finance people, the main Roma for the free water. They have to sit in there free so. Let us do. What I say, they want to be a Yoga University, the first year student in Homeric. Admission for first and no better worker. It's also means that you get it your body. Because many Roma, they say, they may back or maybe the best thing about it. It may learn you with the idea of the now, for instance, on food is great, whatever, and the door. There's also the Baba, no Mama dollar number 4. But number 4. I put the budget. You are carrying a gun of 40 or Baramano. But you may learn the day. I'm a woody, and
all right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Intibe me say, Yebeko also for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 na waprapra. All right. Enti yegusu afrefo ni bi wo so. Okay, yenko sister Gifty or sister Gifty. Yes, sister.
Me pacho me tiawa no pay asun gain count bebre me vegetarian into me tell us
you encount so encount
so
encount
media me see the here me say budget ni the minimum the mo promise say and you will see ya me ti na pass net yo then mo do that machine mo na na do that ya ata ya da choba o cha se ka ya ba ya se de to that's how we should have come to the media. I find that so worker, I'm on the chance to make a classic that way. Brother, you're too big, you're done at society, look at some society. It's not saying you're talking, you want out so many years, there's a certain difference that I'm working my weapon. I'm not saying that why you're there, and the other classic that way, this still will be by the number one. So, you're crossing up one, and you're there 300 and something. And some them crackers yet a crana by the camel. Your constancy, action, this machine, me see I did do Saturday and Friday in the market. Kia so nearby, it's mid done, no baby or the button that you know. Machine is you are yet then, yes, slow woman, yes, slow one. Yabani, you got 2 year budget and more back in kind. Done for that, so you're done for. You're quite yet. Yes, slow machine, no. She cut the home. When you're saying you're about the cafe, I'm in your budget to everybody and the budget to me. I am not to Canada. If you are friend, this you're buying. And so let's say, not so say you or the Ginawa. Follow, no, we are education, follow that dialogue, economic dialogue, no one cacao, no body, no, my in
you in the year, Raubage now, forum, ni dialogue, no, yen tiepa. Pa mo sane ye ana mo chechire ye na ye mpe asem ne puma sibre ye de ye pese ye ho hane ye Ghana for okay all right say ye ni obi a we chire ho de a na afi ye hwe se osofo betimi aprapra chire aman osofo
hello, so for what
yes. Metonga.
Okay. Yo, enti ya dikwe wiye no. So for the ayeka nyina ne se major way wo yenimu nyina the presentation of the budget. Na ye bom pa ye se nyame ebe ya adom na nea impeding edigu akwan mu no ni nyina abem na budget no utie colors ni ade obia ka some of the we know taxes are yexi ye best kwap ni nyina no yewia man fa nkose bedia na sa ban so enya sika odibe yi dwuma nti ye best say the government should find innovative ways of raising funds to do government business. Into say e-levy, COVID-19, betting tax, ni ekeka ho ni nyina no. Na yetie abimfo ni bi on economics. Omo kire say ye yi sa nyoma ni free ho no ma 7.2 billion and a free government funds mu. The government revenue loses 7.2 billion per year. Arhin enna omo ebenya innovative ways of taxation until we expect to see such things a budget presentation name afi so no yes say Ghana ye na cultural way na IMF ni other Bretton Woods institutions no to yen so no omo etumi eyi sa nyoma no nyina efiri honum ama ye ho ahe nti no yen
all right, the very say also for line no a twitwa esikakra. But I think also for by and large your point is made. Inti ye better say na ya ma ba bai inti enua ebra Quarcoo Eric ame here na ye no edi nkomo ene no. So for line no etwasi ye inti no.
Yadamase nyame enhia mu nyina na na watwi mo so irade adwuma enkoso yie e wo bebibia ye wolent brei mu ye bom pa ye ma sorry ma nyina nyame adom enye kese yesu di mu nti Amen.
Amen. Ashafo ye de nkomodidie no ebesi ha. Edwumadie ne yampon ye, it is only the that has ended. Samre ye call ye agro. Nti omoka se agro na so watiem agro no wa so there eja. Nti over to you as sports team.
This is the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. It is a luxurious and comfortable guest house in the heart of Kumasi. Our guest house features a range of modern and spacious rooms, each with its private bathroom and amenities. Our guests can enjoy various on-site facilities, including a restaurant, conference halls, event center, spacious car park, CCTV cameras, lifts, generator, and many more. We are conveniently located opposite the Wesley College of Education near the Swami Roundabout in Kumasi and are easily accessible by public transportation. We look forward to welcoming you to the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. Contact us by telephone 050-650-8591 or 050-650-8592, or you can email us at fmghlghana@gmail.com or use our website www.fmghotelghana.com. Freeman Methodist Guest House, where serving you is our delight.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have